In this video, I'm going to teach you a movement called the archer to really relax the whole upper body. This one is standing movement. You may have heard that word pandiculation. I teach people how to pandiculate. But what is pandiculation? You already know how to pandiculate. A yawn is a pandiculation. When you yawn, especially a big postural yawn like you used to do as a little kid, and like lots of other animals do, snakes do it, cats do it, birds do it, bees do it. These yawning postural yawns, that's pandiculation. Because our brains are so good at learning, your brain gets so much practice in certain tensions that they become deep learned habits. Our brains learn even better than a cat's. So we have to pandiculate a special way, maybe more intentionally, to get that suppleness that pandiculation offers. So let's learn a movement. You know, have you ever used a bow and arrow? Long ago, I went to summer camp. We had like archery, right? So imagine that. Just take that bow and you're holding the bow in one hand and you're pulling back that arrow in the other, okay? And as you do that, if you pull a little bit harder, how do those ribs help you pull that string back? Really pull it back. That's it. And just relax out of that. Okay? So we're getting ribs. Let's make it very rib focused, that you push the bow away as you pull the string back and just yawn that back behind you. Beautiful. There we go. And yawn that and relax out of that. Let's go the other way. Got the bow and you're pulling that string back, and how does the forward shoulder, it pushes forward, and that back shoulder, as it pulls the string back, it's pulling back. Can you yawn your body that way? That's it, the archer. And we're just going to go back and forth a couple times. How lovely yawning could you make that? Beautiful. In a way, here, the hand that's going forward, let's open up that wrist a little bit more. The hand that's pulling back, can you curl that wrist a little bit more? It's curling in. Beautiful. We're just going to go just like this. We're pulling that, yawn the body. Here, this way. Opening that wrist that's pushing the bow forward. We're curling the wrist that's pulling the bow back. Get a little bit in the forearms, and could you bring that into the shoulders, and could you make that the most lovely yawn? Just yawn the body. Down, deep into the ribs. How far down into the ribs can you make it? There you go. And then yawn the body. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. The archer, you can do that anytime. How is that? How is that for you? Assess your suppleness. Does the archer make you supple? Are you supple? Are those ribs moving, or is that rib cage just stiff? If it's stiff, you got to do more somatics. Are you practicing enough? I practice a lot because I like the feeling in my body of freedom, that my brain learned to hold my body really tight for a long, long time. And I have to practice a lot. You might be one of those people that has to practice a lot. Some days I practice minimal. That's like always a little bit before a client, a couple of minutes. A couple minutes there, a couple minutes there. A good practice before bed, because I don't like to go to bed with stress. We don't want to wake up worried in the middle of the night. Okay, here's what it's like. Here, you can go kayaking. When you're kayaking, you might be out in the ocean and there's these rocks just under the surface. Your boat's scraping on the rocks. Have you ever been there? I've been in that situation. And there's the wind and the tide and the current all working against. It's like, oh, it's pushing me into these rocks. Well, you can practice enough. You can have enough somatics practice to just like paddle. It's like, I'll paddle a little bit more. I'm going to get around that rock, even though the wave's pushing me into that rock. My wife and I are going up north in Michigan. I'm in Florida today, but we're going up north in Michigan to go kayaking, and there's rocks that are just below the surface. Okay, so you can practice like that just to stay away from your problem, but it's so much better if you can paddle out to safe waters, no rocks just below the surface. Don't have to worry about the wind and the tide. You're just cruising. And that's how we want our somatics practice to be at times. I invite you to lie down on the floor. Sometimes I listen to YouTube. I talked to my daughter on the phone the other day while I was pandiculating. You can go through the motions, but if you do it more carefully, it makes better change. But Can you practice enough to get ahead of your problem? Can you make that miraculous change that you can make with somatics? Can you feel free, and can you have enough time out of these hidden tension patterns that the places that are hurting and the places that are injured, that they can sort of recover? And we want to look at the root of the problem. If it's that hip, if that's bothersome, I promise you there's something going on in the torso. If it's that shoulder, that's the problem. Or if that's the thumbs that are the problem, or the neck that's the problem, I promise you it's hiding in the torso. It's where your breathing is stuck, okay? And how is the breathing stuck? It's hidden from you. You got to practice a lot and free yourself and look at all the possibilities. All these stripes down the body, we can get stuck. The vertical lines down the back, okay? Also these diagonal lines, that. Even lines through the body, of intent through the body. Even more complicated bends. Try this one out. Upper ribs close a little bit. Lower hip on this side, hip closes a little bit. And then, so we have a little contraction here, a little contraction here, and then we're going to add a bigger contraction here to balance it out. So it's contraction, contraction, contraction. A triple bend, okay? There you go. You might have, your posture might be fine, you might be all lined up, but you're stiff. Let's let that go. Can you let that go and find your suppleness? That's what we're trying to do, okay? Thank you very much for watching this video and practicing with me today. I'm Eric Cooper, InspireSomatics.com. Lately, I'm offering workshops for advanced movement teachers so that you can see that really the box that you and your clients haven't been fitting into well, that's the problem really, is with the box. Can you expand your view to see the totality of all the things that the client presents with? Can you see that as simple, that there's one unifying situation going on, many variable creative ways that that is expressing, but one strategy that the client's stuck in, that their deep brain is holding their muscle tension pattern in. And that's changeable, and you can take a workshop. Also, if you're a person who needs a little guidance, I'm very happy to be of assistance with your muscle tension problem. Most muscle tension problems are very solvable. So, I'm Eric Cooper, InspireSomatics.com. Blessings on your journey.